Ali's in the house.
Ali's in the house. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. For those of you that are old school, it's episode 50. Episode 50. And they all told us we'd never make episode 2. Well, we did. No, we didn't. We kept on going. And before we carry on, just as a personal thing, because 50 is a very fitting cricketing score, actually, I'd personally like to raise a glass to a man that destroyed more of my 90s and early 2000s cricketing dreams than any other person, to the late, great Shane Warne.
Shane Warne.
I hated him as a player, but
absolute bastard.
But brilliant.
Here's to him.
And I feel he would appreciate the sentiment there as well.
I think so.
To be fair.
Yeah, he could definitely dish it out as well as take it.
Yeah, quite right too, as it should be.
Yeah, quite right.
Well, after that, hello. We are the Boys from the Baltic Star, the only cricket-based traveller Twitch channel in the whole of the internet. We're definitely that, Ewan. I know you're always trying to pull me back from being over boasty. We're definitely that.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much to our regulars who are already busy in chat. We love you. Our Family Friday together. Thank you very much to first timers and our lurkers. We love our first timers. We love our lurkers. Please feel free to lurk. Please feel free to chat. Join in. Chat is welcoming. So if you want to say hi or something, they're cool. We tend to break the fourth wall as needed, and Ewan and I, whoever's not role playing at that time so much, tend to pop in and add a couple of comments on things and that as well. So please feel free to do that. Please feel free to do that. If you don't already, consider following us on Twitter. It's in the bottom left, @BoysBaltic. We're on Instagram, Boys from the Baltic Star. Or if you like what you see here, then consider a follow here. We're so close to 200 now. We've not pushed it. We don't want the fake follows. We want the ones that have true love for us to push on through. We're so close. It's very exciting. The other thing for you guys watching, if you look at that little red sun somewhere on the screen, it's on my bottom left, but I think I'm set up differently to the rest of you. Click on that. There's lots of cricket is an odd insect. I should tell you what. I shall do that. Yes. So click on that red sign if you want and spend some points. You can't take them with you. As the saying goes, oh, Ewan's resubscribed. Yeah, Ewan. There's like 4 people that all ran out because it was a funny. Because February's a strange month. Let's put it that way.
It's a funny month.
It's a funny month. It's a funny old month.
Funny old month.
It's a funny old month. Ewan's going to get some more free stickers because of that. I've got some printed off ready to send out around for those subbers. Making out that art deck. Yes. So click on that red sun. Choose some things to spend, like Kelly just did. A lot of them interact with the game, or allow us to put a fake beard on Ben, or celebrate in how sexy Ewan is. All worthy things.
Some more than others.
Some more than others. If you agree with something we say and you want to drink to it, or if we're toasting and you want to, there's always a 1 credit option, and I'll drink to that, which we want to keep cheap so that anyone can join in. Exactly, and I'll drink to that. You can make Ben drink, I believe, and then if you drink to Greyhill, I think we all have to toast him. That's the drinking game side of things, I believe. Everything else is very, very serious. We're a very, very serious channel.
We are a very serious channel.
To a fault, I'd say. Almost too serious. That's what I got told off for recently. Too serious. Tough. That's the way we roll. Speaking of we, my name's Luke. Hello, I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. In the blue background, I play 2 characters. I play Cara and Soraya. Cara is an arty, talky, tradery kind of lass. Whoa! Guns are out. Anyone that doesn't have sound on right now is now just very confused. Glory to the beard. It does actually. We've got to put a beard on Ben. That's something at least. Yes. So I play Cara, who's the arty, chatty, tradery person. I play Soraya, and she's more that slightly grizzled Han Solo kind of getting her hands dirty. Not very good with the posh people. Gets a bit confused. Just loves a mimosa. That's who I play. Next to me, this way, is my friend and my comrade and my colleague. It's Ewan. The fist bump can be legit tonight. Yes.
Let's have check which way I've got to go.
Classic. No ducking for Ben. Ewan, my friend, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Luke. Oh, so serious, obviously.
Well,
Very serious.
That's classic Ewan. That's what we always say. So your characters are very serious as well, aren't they, Ewan? Very, very serious.
All of our characters are very serious, I think, aren't they? But particularly, I don't know which one to pick now. Both of them, obviously.
Deeply serious characters.
But particularly Stefan, General.
So serious.
Sneaky, space rogue, streetwise character, and even more so. That doesn't work. Agnar Ranson, former general, who has a bit of medic and a bit of social influence, schmoozy kind of good social standing.
He's such a schmoozer. And the best thing, indeed, about Agnar is the floofiness. I feel like it's been a while since we've been in a humid space, though. Too long, I'd say.
It has. I mean, in fact, I forget to say it every week. He's a Varga, which is just kind of like a wolf person, which I just take for granted, obviously, and decide not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
I'll get better.
Yes, he's the average traveller.
Yes. Although not if you put a beard on Ben.
No.
It's close. It's a close run competition, I feel.
Kelly. Agnar doesn't have a monocle at the moment, but if we get to a shop, I'm interested. Actually, I might. I quite like the idea. Purchase him a monocle. I think you're right. I think it'd look really good on him.
It'd be good if it could help him see in the dark a bit better. He has not very good vision in dark spaces. Some kind of cyber monocle. Sci-fi monocle.
Sci-fi
It's got to be invented.
He's the very model of a modern Major General, Kelly, in fact. There's cricket being what is it? Cricket is an odd insect. There we go. I wrapped it. It's a very quick one. It's just a cricket bat made to look like a cricket. It's not one of my best, but it'll do for 200 credits.
Excellent.
200 credits. What more can you expect? I say. The last one in our posse, our very serious posse, is the man who plays more characters than the rest of us two combined. The man who is the smartest man in any room he goes into. The smartest man down any street he walks down, quite frankly. The man who lives his whole life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. It is, of course, the mighty Ben. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Oh, it's very nice to be here again. Is it Friday already?
Oh, isn't it ever? The weeks are churning, aren't they? We love a Friday, though, of course.
It is the thing I sort of look forward to most through the week, is our Friday evenings.
It's what kept us sane during lockdown, to be honest.
It is, yes. Yes, it earns a lot of brownie points for stopping the walls closing in on me.
Majestic!
You need to resplend, Ben. Majestically.
1 second.
He's got resplend there.
1 second.
That's it. Oh, look. Again, with the Grey Hill colours as well. It's perfect. So perfect. And the week after you as well.
I love that photo so much. Thanks, Luke.
The best photo ever.
It's oh so serious.
I think it was the only screen grab I had of you at the time. I'd just taken it because I was using it to make sure that all my graphics were to the right size, and it was what you were posed as when I'd taken the screen grab.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's so wrong and therefore so right.
Exactly. Which is the most important thing.
Yes.
Sensible channel like us.
Yeah, very sensible. I think it's so sensible I might leave it up there for the entire evening.
Get in the way. I mean, I often feel that about Ewan's sheer sexual magnetism, but particularly on this occasion, it will actually physically get in the way.
Yeah, it's true, actually. Speaking of which, Ben, there's a reason why I'll get in the way, and why is that?
Oh, you'd like an update?
Oh, would I ever?
Well, since you asked with such enthusiasm.
Oh, I'm very enthusiastic.
Okay. Our travellers have crossed the wastes of Dilub Rou to the mine operated by the Nortessaries, Bycrest. They seem to be a welcoming couple, as befits the way they act as the focal point for the miners of the Weft Free Company, scattered in the loosely incorporated town of Swisher. Garo Kavarian, maintenance expert for the town, accompanied them, and the group spent the night as guests at Bycrest. Before bed, our heroes skulked around the property, doing some heroic espionage. They did find some interesting clues that imply there might be a secret at Bycrest, but so far their hosts have seemingly had explanations for everything that they've tried to subtly raise. One of the three main buildings at the property has a new door fitted, for example, and allegedly there's been some attempted theft going on, which is very unusual in this frontier town. Sammy Kress, the crew's geologist, was encouraged to explore the mine itself, in the hope she might be able to provide some expert guidance to their hosts on what to dig and what to ignore. But in the gloomy depths of the mine, there was a dangerous moment as a group of sand crates attacked. These nasty snake-like beasts have a powerful jaw that, as they hold on to a victim, they can slowly apply great force through their fangs. Thankfully, everyone escaped alive, though Sammy was injured slightly, with one animal eventually driving its fangs into her leg. The group has decided to move on swiftly, taking the opportunity to send Sammy back to the surface at the earliest moment, but as they made their way through the mine, they encountered a smooth manufactured wall blocking access to one area. and it too contained a secure-looking door. And that is where we resume the story. So, as you correctly point out, it's only fair.
Whenever you finish your your sum up, it's one for the English of a certain age. But do you remember Through the Keyhole with Lloyd Grossman?
Oh, yeah.
He'd always finish it in exactly the same time with you, and then, and David, over to you. You always need to finish on this, and that is where it ends. Oh, Kelly, yeah, it's for making doors. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else it could be. Look at the size of it. I think it's right.
Okay. So, we are looking at the part of the mine where you guys are at the moment. You're actually in the very top left corner, just below that sort of grey box.
Yes. And you say this part of the wall is sort of more smooth and more carefully created.
Exactly. Everywhere else, the mine's wall is, I mean, it's not horrendously craggy because it's been cut away by mining, but it's definitely rough. It's unpolished. But this bit, yeah, there is a smooth east-west flowing wall right across the entrance, just sort of sunk into the rock there with a door right in the middle of it.
From roughly hewn to smooth, it's like going from Stefan to Agnar.
It is. Yeah.
Can Agnar take a look at the door? Are there any marks on this side of it?
Certainly, yeah. Given the environment, make a survival check for me. See if there's anything that leaps out at you.
Survival.
Oh, anything that literally leaps out at you.
Ah, well, possibly. That's a 3.
Oh no.
Okay.
And I don't think even if we pick a good base stat, that's going to get very high.
After very careful examination, he can turn around and say, that's a door.
Oh no. What if it's a Moab hatchery? Oh, no.
What if it is?
What if it is? Because rather than looking direct at the door, I guess Kara would like to look for electronics within it, if that makes sense. The look of maybe a camera or a pad or something like that.
Okay. Part of that you can get pretty much straightforwardly, but I'll make you have a roll so you can see if there's anything else you can detect.
Okie
Under the circumstances,
yes.
I would make a roll for your electronics computers check, please, with education in this case.
Oh, the dice are a bit cold though. Let's take that far too casually. Oh, it's okay. That's good. It's a good start. It's a 9, so I'm going to pick it out for proof. Hang on. 9 plus 3 is 12.
12. Okay. There is an electronic sensor in the door frame, and a quick examination implies that it has power in it. It looks as if the space is electrically powered.
Carl will sort of poke around, not touching anything, but sort of have a poke around, get up close, and then she'll turn to the others and say, "It's got power. Whatever it is active, and is clearly being kept this way for a purpose." Agnar, did you get anything from what you were looking at in the door?
I mean, not really. It's a door.
Oh. Between us, we found out a lot today.
There was nothing obvious. Certainly not as obvious as the marks on the other door.
Oh.
that I could see.
That's true. No carvings around it or anything.
Nothing you spotted?
Can Stefan take a quick look around and see if there are any security cameras?
Yes. Yeah, make a recon check for me, please, with intellect.
That's an 8 plus nothing is 8.
Okay. As far as you can tell, there are no cameras here fitted to the door, and you haven't spotted any around the area either.
He'll say to the rest of them, doesn't look like there's any security. I mean, I guess we can go in if we want.
If we can. Yes. Is it does it look similar to the other doors we've come across, Ben? Like up with is it more like the ones up in the buildings or more like the door to the mine or
It looks simpler in the sense that the little electronic port seems to be the only way to interface with it. So whereas the ones up at the surface have, keypad type things, which means anyone with the right code can get in and out, this one presumably is only intended to be used by those who bring a relevant piece of equipment.
Okay.
It's not quite the same arrangement.
Okay. Now, bringing the right kind of equipment, would that involve I was going to say involve a grenade, but we've done this sort of thing before. Some plastic in the little hole. Is it something that Kara might be able to consider she could try hacking into? Does it seem like that sort of thing, Ben?
Yes, it's an electronic port, so there's no inherent reason you couldn't try to connect something to it.
Okay. Guys, you happy if I give it a go? If I try and hack into it? Are we happy with that?
Stefan will say, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, we could try and open it. Is there like a button to push? Is it literally just a panel that stuff goes into?
There's next to the door, there is a little electronic port. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Give it a go.
Far too simple, Kelly. We like the element of surprise.
Seems the only option.
It's my favourite of the elements after helium. Number 1, helium. Number 2, surprise. Keep an eye out for them little pesky snakes for me. I think I'm going to have to focus on this for a while. And she pulls out her computer and she starts attempting the correct kind of intrusion-related stuff, if I may.
Okay, she has intrusion software on there, which will give her a +1.
She does.
She's got the computer so she can interface directly with it. She has the use of her electronics computer skill and her intellect skill.
Yes, she does. So it's a +1, +1, +4 overall then.
Okay, there you go.
We say that, it depends how hard it is, because a 14 is still a very tough roll to make. Which I've not hit, but I've done okay, I think. It's a 7. 7 plus 4 is an 11.
Okay. Roll 1d6 for me.
Oh, I never know what's the good one in this. Well, it doesn't matter because it's 3 straight down the middle. Oh.
Okay. You immediately start to twig you're going to be able to do this, but it's going to take probably half an hour or so.
It's going to take about half an hour, guys. So I don't know if you just want to stand around having a little sing-song or what, but yeah, it's going to take a little while.
In that sort of response to that, Zoe says, I'll get Sammy up top.
That's probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can also say I'll head with you if you want as far as the lift. and
Good.
then come back.
Okay. So Zoe and Sammy are going to set off towards the south.
Yeah.
To see if they can find the other lift up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the undiscovered country.
And Agnar's heading off that way as well. Anyone else?
Yes.
Realizing that they're going that way instead of back the other way, Soraya will run along and join them just in case. A little guard of honor. You never know what you might find.
Which leaves Stefan staying.
Yes.
In that case, Rat will probably stay as well, so that there's not just one person watching out for snakes.
That makes sense. Cool.
Okay, so Stefan and Rack are staying at the door, and the others are all heading off. Those who aren't actually doing the computing, you understand, are all heading off down to the south. Okay, well then let's follow their progress to the south, shall we?
Oh, do we have to? Can we just say they made it back safe and sound and there were no problems?
And they all lived happily ever after.
Lived happily ever after.
The end. Thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, they all did live happily ever after. I'm sure that's how it went.
Exactly. Let's leave them heading off into the unknown, and they were never heard of again.
Okay, so if you head south, you quite rapidly encounter a junction that leads back essentially the way you came. If I do that, so I don't overrun it. There we go. So there's a junction to head off east, and you can do that, or you can head off to the south and see what else is down there.
You're the man with military training, Agnar. You're the man with his nose to the ground.
Well, I'd assume heading south. Would we be able to have a? In fact, haven't we got a map? Isn't there a map on the one of the devices that? Oh no, wait, Kara's got that. Did we have a spare? Anybody pick up a spare? No.
Oh.
Let's head south and see what's there, shall we?
If that's the call, that's absolutely fine.
Unless
let's go south.
Sorry.
Let's go south, young man.
Zoe?
Shall we?
I'm happy with any way. I'm hoping it's quicker than just cutting back across to the one we already know.
Yes. Yeah. Of course. Let's try south then.
Okay. South it is. So you set off southwards to this junction, and when you get there, you can essentially see off to the east and down to the south a certain way, but not very far. They both look like fairly similar, fairly ordinary sort of tunnels, much as you've seen everywhere else. The one to the south is significantly narrower.
No emergency exit signs, lift this way.
No.
We're definitely going to have to speak to them about health and safety, I feel.
Quite right, too.
No health and safety when I was a kid. Put your boots on, picked up your axe, and off you went to school. No, hang on. Right, south. Carry on. Let's follow the plan. After that.
So keep going south or head east?
It's narrower, so it's less likely, isn't it? Are you having second thoughts, Agnar?
No. I've made my decision. So have at it.
I'll follow you. My captain, oh captain, my captain.
No, that's not a decision. It's your turn.
No,
So
that's-
which way is
that's something,
Agnar leading them?
Let's continue south. See what that holds.
Oh no.
Okay. Fair enough.
I can't believe he picked south. I wouldn't have picked south. I agreed that I was going to follow him, and now I'm stuck following him, even though I think it's the wrong way. Why? He always thinks he's so good, doesn't he? He always thinks he's the boss of everything. Yeah, so smart. That's not really what Sora's doing. She's quite happy.
Quite right. As you begin to head south down the slightly narrower entrance, you do indeed find it opens out into an area with the other lift down at the bottom there.
Never in doubt, Agnar. Great choice.
Never in doubt. And Zoe turns around and says, "Thank you. Good call." And checks Sammy's okay and leads her into the lift. And then turns around and says, "Anyone else joining us?"
No, I think I'll head back and just make sure the rest of them are all still held up okay.
I really like the idea of going up and looking around inside that thing at the top, just in case, and then coming straight back down again.
Do you wanna see if there's anything?
Yeah.
I'll go with you if you want to. Right?
Yeah, man. Like, it's going to take half hour anyway, it doesn't take that long to get up and down again.
It's true.
Let's
That is true. That is true.
It's nice to have a ride. It's like a free ride, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. If you're happy to come, that'd be lovely.
All right.
It's a lonely ride down on your own. There's only so many songs I can sing.
As the lift goes up, Agnar's just like, oh, nobody told me they'd be singing. Face palms into his helmet.
All right.
So I sings the most annoying pop song she can think of.
The whole crowd jumps into the lift and sets off to get up to the top.
Me and Agnar are going up. We're going up the lift. Doo-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo. All the way up, then down. All the way up. Your turn, Agnar. Sing it.
He turns the volume down on his communicator.
Oh, she hasn't spotted it yet. Doo-ba-ba-boo. Your line. Still your line. Okay. Doo-ba-boo. Going up. Doo-ba-boo. And that continues all the way up. All the way up.
Okay. You emerge at the end of a lift shaft, much as you would expect to see. Not wildly dissimilar, though oriented differently, to the one you got in on the other side when you first entered the mine. And you can see stretching ahead of you a journey away to the entrance into one of those little utility huts that form the edge of the mine entrances. Oh yes, and there are little chambers apparently north and south off this passageway.
I thought you could say, oh yes, there's some little sand crates there.
Yes. So shall we lead the way?
Yeah.
Just in case, we don't want...
If those two are heading straight back, I'm very interested in poking around these little extra rooms, having a little nosy. Do you know what I mean? This was the one that we were not suggested to enter by, and you know what I'm like. I'm a suspicious kind of girl.
Yeah, I've heard that about you.
Yeah, suspicious with a beautiful voice. That's what people always say. You know that girl, Soraya? Very suspicious, but very beautiful voice.
Okay, so Zoe and Sammy start heading off towards the east and head straight to the little utility building, and open the door and head through. You can stick your head in there if you want to at some point as well, but until you do, I'll leave that one grayed out. Okay.
Sounds good.
As you set off, you can look to the north or the south. The entrance to the north, I mean, it may not be obvious from the map, but the entrance to the north seems to open out into a slightly larger space. The one to the south is just more a bay off the corridor.
Okay.
Agnar, realizing that nobody, or that he couldn't hear any response to that last message that he sent, will turn his volume back up. Excuse me. Turn the volume back up on his communicator.
She got the gold mine, I got the shaft.
So which way? Which one first?
Oh, you're back. Oh, let's go north. Let's go left.
Let's go
left. Okay. The space to the northwest is a fairly rough-hewn cavern, which has been dug out. It is very heavily filled with piles of rubble and scree that actually, by the time you get to the far end, almost rise to the height of the ceiling. Like an enormous rocky bank built in it.
A rocky bank. Oh.
It's a bit weird, don't you think?
Is this just like the dropping off point to sort of keep things? Does this stuff look like the good stuff? Soraya pokes around a little bit. Does it, from her lack of skills, I guess, does it look like the good stuff like Sammy was pointing at earlier, Ben? Or does it just look like spillage, wastage? Could she tell?
Okay. Can you roll a geology check for me, please, with education?
I will.
That'd be jack of all trades.
Well, I'll ask honestly about this because I know you've talked to it before about if it's an educational thing. Would am I allowed to jack of all trades with it?
Probably not. But you are a scout, aren't you, by training?
Yeah, I've been to many places. I've been here. I've been there.
On that basis, I can give you a boon for the role, even though you're not formally trained in geology. You've seen an awful lot of rock out there.
I've seen so much rock. You would not believe how much rock I've seen. Okay, a boon. I like a boon, but a boon with a -3 because my education is a 0. Okay, here we go. I got hit an 11. Oh no, I've not done that. I've hit a 7. Oh, 6 and a 1. Luckily, because the other one was a 1. So 6 and a 1 flat minus a 3 is a 4. So no.
As far as you can tell, it's just a pile of rock. Just rubble. It doesn't seem to give you any clues about anything.
Okay.
And there's nothing up. There's nothing on the ceiling at this point.
I love you.
Roll a survival check for me.
Sure. Sure. That's a 4.
Okay. No, it's at a 4. It's almost impossible for you to tell there is a ceiling. It's how the roof stays up is a mystery.
Yeah, if the scree slopes up enough, it eventually just becomes a ceiling. As far as Agnar's concerned. Do you wanna head back south and see if that sheds any light on what this is?
Yeah, it might be a good call. As they turn south, can she just do one of those? You know, when you're a bit disappointed when you've gone into an area and then you just have a quick glance around to see if you've missed anything. her heart's only partially in it, so it's just a quick scouty look, I guess.
Certainly can. Can you roll a survival check for me, please, with intellect?
I can. That is a +1 overall. Come on, I need to hit one of these tonight. So, I did. 10 + 1's 11.
Okay. It's not necessarily a gimme. You can't be certain, but you have the sensation out of the corner of your eye that there may have been the flicker of the tail of a sand crate hiding in the rubble on the far edge.
She'll reaches out her hand, not towards the sand crate, to Agnar's arm and squeezes it almost a little bit too hard.
Ow!
And she's like,
"What's that for?"
Through his +17 combat suit.
yeah. A little
he's
shake.
pretty
A little
weak
shake.
though.
his ashen bones. Well, he'll acknowledge the slight pulling on it at least, I guess. Infinite Monkey Tails, welcome. Thank you for the raid. We love a raid from you guys. You're so good to us. We need to switch times one night. We'll do early. You do late, so we can raid you. How about that? We'll play a return trip. I hope you guys are well.
Hello,
thank you so much for
Tales. So nice of you to join us. Thank you so much.
And thank you for all of you that have been dragged here against your will by Infinite Monkey Tails. And I hope you've had a lovely session. And I hope you had a really good time. And hang around for as long or as little as you want. Some old pirate, hello again, and Pops. It's all the Monkey Tail crew. Well, you guys been playing something good tonight, I hope. And I hope you had a really good session. Another 8. You're talking my language. Survival is a big success. Let's put it that way. Is it? You keep it for VOD. Do you keep it for VOD? Monkey Tails. You stream, right? Do you keep it on VOD? Yeah. So it's something. I've been meaning to watch an Alien RPG actually. I might watch some of that tomorrow morning actually if it's there. Ooh, lovely. Okay. So she can't obviously hurt his arm, but he'll feel the sort of the movement, I guess.
He'll certainly detect the tugging on it, yes.
Yeah. And then as he turns, she'll be like pointing towards where it was, and then go in an attempt at a snaky thing. Go, I think that was a crate.
2 words.
Sand crate. It was a sand crate. Like, you can't hear us. We're in our masks. But she has a moment when she doesn't realise that. I think it's a sand crate, but I don't think we've not startled it.
Do you think that's a no? They'd have blocked it up if that was the nest, wouldn't they?
You think
Maybe
so?
just a few.
I think so. If it's just the one, we're okay. If there's like 30 of them, it's dangerous, And especially as the Alien RPG lot have come, I feel I do have to say with Ben. And the thing with sand crates is they come out at night. Mostly.
Now checks the time on his personal communicator to see how we're doing. Do you want to leave? Do you want to leave it alone?
Shall we leave it unless it? Yeah.
Sleeping sand crates lie.
It's the saying I live by.
That is what they say here.
It is. I heard it 17 times since we landed at the port.
South.
Let's go south. Let's have a look.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Just in case.
There's no rush. More haste, less speed.
That doesn't make sense.
More haste, less crates. Fewer crates.
That's the one.
Christina Lente, yes, absolutely. So are you heading away from this northern cave then? Yes.
Let's have a poke around in the south if that's okay.
You back away from that, and from the entrance there you can easily peer into the southern one as well. Which from your perspective just looks like a fairly substantial, a large bay cut into the rock. And again, an enormous amount of piled up rubble and mine leavings taken from the mine shaft, presumably.
Does it look the same sort of composition as the stuff in the other?
Make a geology
Chamber.
check with education.
Oh. No, I don't really have anything else. I mean, we are on another planet. Xenology.
That would be for biological organisms.
No, that's fine. I rolled a 9 minus 3 plus 2, so an 8.
Total of an 8. What's your I can't believe I'm going to say this. Can you make a xenology check for me
Yes.
Yeah, I certainly can.
It's
with education?
living
With
rocks. Oh no.
That's a 6 plus 3 is a 9.
Okay. If you were judging, you would say that the nature of these rocks seems a little odd for something cut manually by miners.
Oh.
It seems a bit even, a bit too. The pieces all seem to be of too much a uniform size to be random.
Oh.
Hey, Soraya, if I was judging, I'd say that the nature of these rocks seems a little bit too rough to be cut by miners. Seems a little bit uneven.
Now you mention that, they do look very much of a very uniform size. That's a good point. Has Sammy gone? Sir,
Yeah, they headed off out through the through the
Sammy's
hut.
gone.
We lost our geologist.
Oh.
Did hold on a minute? Why were we told not to enter this way? Was there a reason that was given?
Just said it's full of junk, which it kind of is, I guess.
I suppose if you're a miner, then useless rocks are kind of junk, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Are there then any small pebbles of the sort down by the foot of this rockery?
Yes, in fact, they are all a remarkably sort of half brick sized kind of size.
Oh, well, they are small. 2 half bricks size.
Ish.
Brick size ish. So I would like to grab a couple if that's okay.
Most certainly is.
Oh no, he's too happy about this. They could turn into deadly things.
Okay, you pick up a couple of them.
Okay. No, a bit risky. No, I don't know. Can she is it through her glove? Are they smooth? Are they like glassy? Are they still quite jagged but just very sort of uniform in the way they are? Like now that she's got them in her
seem
hand.
to be cut using fairly conventional energy tools, as you'd expect a miner to use.
Yeah.
You know, we're a long way beyond pickaxes here. It's not so much that they're smooth. These energy tools, they're not precision instruments. They're not for surgery. It's that they're very square.
Oh, like me.
You know,
Very
a lot of right angle.
Now, do they look like something that look very ready for shipping or using something else then? So this is no longer looking like just the rawest of raw material. This looks ready to be utilized. Like I know we're throwing things into the air, so feel free to shoot us down as much as you want, but purely from experience, I guess. Like, oh man, this looks like something that you could buy as it comes.
if you were buying certain kinds of rock, you could imagine this would be the right sort of format in which to buy one.
Yeah.
Roughly the right size, shape, angle, and everything. But you don't know if this is the right kind of rock. So it could just be how they cube up the side of a mine in order to break it apart and find the right rock.
That is true. It's fascinating for now, and I like the fact I've got a couple. I think I'll keep them for showing Sammy later and doing some experiments on them that are too dangerous in a small space, like sparking them together or setting fire to them, or nibbling on the edge. We'll get someone else to do that one. You got anything else more you want to do here, Ragnar? Should we poke our head through into the little room? See if there's anything we can magpie?
Yeah, I mean, there might be something handy to take down with us. If Kara has any issues with that door, maybe.
Oh,
or, just in general, once we get inside.
You're
Poke our
talking
head around.
You're talking my language. Lead on, General, sir.
I do think when we eventually exit, though, we should collect up as much as the gear here and take it back over to the entrance, because they did express a bit of annoyance that the miners, weren't very good at putting stuff back where it belonged.
Do you think that was a bit?
We should be good citizens, perhaps, and help them out.
Yeah, I think. Did you think that was a bit of like a barbed comment they made to make sure that we were good? Did you get that vibe, Agnar?
Maybe not barbed, but maybe a leading suggestion.
Oh, you're so smart.
It's what I would have done as a general.
You spot all these things. They just go over my head.
Well,
Years of hobnobbing, I suppose.
In fact, it was the other side of the less so the hobnobbing. Hobnobbing people just do what they want.
In my experience, the people who aren't hobnobbing are ginger nutting. So,
as a ginger, I take great offence out of that.
Let's stick our heads in and see what's in there.
Why not?
Okay. You indeed poke your head in through the entranceway, and inside is essentially exactly the same as you saw in the other hut. This one is much less empty, however. There are significant numbers of respirator kits, overboots, those little laptop, tablet type things they use for communication and for logging their work, just piled in corners and covered in dust and clearly not very well taken care of.
Do we need any spares? Do you want anything?
Nah, I don't think there's nothing new or interesting there. I think. Yeah.
Head back.
Why not? Let's go south, downwards.
Okay. So
True south.
You
Actual south, geological south. Oh, yeah.
Geological south.
I think that's what they call it, isn't it, in the planets?
It is now.
I'm sure that's the right terminology. Yeah, I mean, I think some people would say down, but sure.
Geological south.
Geological south. Why not?
No. Like front of ship.
Well, indeed, front of ship.
Front of ship.
Now that is a throwback.
Oh, we're going down, baby. The geological south, as has always been known. I can sing along with me.
Again.
We're going down. Look at all the pretty rocks. Stroke them with your hand.
Bottom left of that is the bottom of the lift shaft, and obviously you're familiar with this. With this part, you've been here before, just a few minutes ago, in fact.
Indeed. As they hit the bottom, Agnar turns his volume back up on his communicator. Down again. 5 more seconds and then back up.
You didn't sing along, Agnar. You didn't sing along. Come on. If we're a team, I go to your boring hobnobbing sessions with princes and generals and that. The least you could do is sing with me down a mine shaft.
I'm not sure I've ever taken you to one with princes and generals, but you do have a point. You do have a point. How long have we got? Do you know what time it is?
I reckon all of that poking around will probably have taken you 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, we've got about another 10 minutes, I reckon. Are we going straight back, or should we have a nosy? How brave are you feeling, my friend? Mon General.
Let's take the scenic route. It's all about the journey.
It is all about the journey. And the journey is all about the friends you take it with. Come on.
Right.
Let's explore together.
Okay. So which direction are you going?
Have you not cut out next to the X because there is a route that way, Ben? As they look around, or is that
another route off to the sort of southeast? Yes.
Should we go this way? We've not even been this way. This could be magic. There could be diamonds down here.
Lead on. It's all right. It's your choice now, I feel.
I'll take responsibility for this. Don't make a note.
Well,
don't make a note of it. Don't make a note of it.
Not unless anyone dies, then there's responsibility. But for now.
When have I ever led us wrong? Apart from those terrible cocktails I bought that time in the Cascade, but we don't talk about those.
Don't. No.
They were bad. They were bad. The hangover was horrific. That's the only time I've led us wrong, though. And there's no booze around here, so.
Okay. You head off to the sort of southeast then?
Please, yeah.
All right. As you set off in that direction, you immediately spot that there is a little bit more cave down here. There is off to the south a gloomy little offshoot area, which looks like it's been mined quite recently and has a fair amount of rubble still in it, and looks really quite dark and confined space kind of area.
Oh, Agnar, I'm not going down that gloomy nook. Look at that. That way looks horrible. Should we go straight on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling bold, but I'm not feeling stupid necessarily. Perhaps we should wait till we've convened with everyone before we go digging around in piles.
Okay.
Isn't that what you said on that advert you did for the hemorrhoids clinic?
For that cream. Yeah, it was indeed. It was indeed. He rolls his eyes.
Didn't you get paid 50,000 credits for that? What happened to those 50,000 credits?
I spent them all on brunch for you lot.
I see. A small brunch then.
Buying comedy outfits at Earth Park.
Yeah.
So,
season tickets that we used once.
Yeah, Tom, no, don't remind me of the season tickets we used once. Yes, east, please.
Yes, east.
Okay. At the end of the corridor, it turns to the south, and there's another dark and gloomy end there.
Well, you know what, Sarah? I think I'm all thrown around. I was half expecting this to lead up in some kind of circular route. I mean, my sense of direction has never been great, but I think I was way off here.
I know. Look at this. We've gone right down into the bowels. And Sammy's not here, so I care not for rocks and the trivialities they bring. If there is no route through, should we go back and go the other way?
Okay.
Unless you want to poke around with your nosy ways.
No, I mean, there's nothing obvious and gamey, is there? Let's meet up with the rest of them, and we can tell them what we found if we want to come back on the way, as I say, on the way up.
Okay. So you head back up past the lift and past the junction off to the right, which is the only part on this side of the map you haven't peered down yet.
I reckon we go down there.
Are you a bit of a completionist? So,
Oh, you know me so well.
well, who am I to stand in the way? Let's see where this leads.
I'd hate myself if we went back up and they said to us, you failed the quest. You never found the chest full of all the wealth on Dilub Rou.
Okay.
No.
This is the kind of place that hide that, obviously.
No, that's where I would. If I was running a mining organisation.
As you set off towards the east, it becomes quite rapidly apparent that this is going to connect up to other places you've seen. It's easy to get turned around down in the mine shaft, but you can tell that there are routes that head back more or less on parallel with or into the same passageways you've already peered down just from the other side. The simple reality is, however, that you can see a few more rock-filled sort of corners of the world. But unless you're interested in exploring those, which you're free to do, of course, you essentially now have seen all of the map.
See, I knew we had to head back this way eventually if we wanted to join up the loop.
You're right. Do you feel happier now, Agnar?
I feel somewhat vindicated.
Good.
Yes, that is true.
You look quite proud under that mask of yours. Your eyes have got like a new glow to them.
Well, as I say, my sense of direction is so bad that when when I get things half right, it's pretty much a victory.
That's true. Well, should we just head back the way we are, or should we go north through this new middle way we've just discovered, just for a change up?
I do not mind, whichever would make you feel more at ease.
Well, being with you puts me at ease. Let's go up this new central path, and then hang a left back to the magical doorway.
Excellent. All right.
Wonderful.
Can you roll a survival check for me each, please?
I have to say, Soraya, it's a lot smaller, on a lot smaller scale than I thought the mine was going to be.
That's because you've been eating too many pies at these fancy hobnob events we've been going to. Everything's looking smaller to you these days.
That's a 5 for Agnar.
In fact, didn't that combat vac suit used to be a bit baggy? I run really well, by the way. It still is. What do we get to add to this? Sorry, what did you say it was?
It's survival. You can add. I'm going to suggest add dexterity.
Okay. 0 plus 0 plus 11 is 11.
In which case, that's a 7 for Agnar, not a 5.
Okay.
If that makes any difference. Excellent.
So the two of you meander your way up through. Agnar sort of trips over a couple of bits of the rubble, but not enough to throw him on the ground or anything. Just kicks them a bit. Your experience with the sand crates has made you a little bit wary of piles of rubble and dark corners. But you make it all the way back to the door without incident, and sure enough, arrive where the three are waiting for you. And Rack, of course, immediately looks up and is like, welcome back. Alive, I see.
Oh, Rack, I tell you what, I'd have got lost and scared if it wasn't for this man here. Agnar saw us back. Amazing.
Oh, she's too modest. She's too modest. It was all Soraya. But we have made it, and I believe we've at least mapped out the mine and somewhat of above, apart from obviously behind the door. Yeah. We didn't investigate too much though.
We left the
just in
piles
case
of rocks
anything
well
exciting
alone.
happened. Yeah, we didn't want to come across any monsters without you around.
Good choice. Good
Mm.
choice. Or with me around, ideally.
Come on.
Agnar laughs it off a bit. Stefan stops the humming that he was doing underneath, very low key humming, just to fill in if Soraya was with them, she'd be singing a song. So he sort of goes back to that, fills it in a little bit himself. Somewhat.
Well, it's at about this point.
Hey, Stefan, did you miss me?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Been very boring. You didn't miss much.
And it's about this moment that you hit the half-hour mark.
Lovely.
And with a fairly subtle click, you have unlocked the door.
Subtlety is our middle name.
Subtlety and sensible.
Subtlety. Oh, very sensible.
Obviously.
And brunch. Kara steps back and unplugs the laptop from it all with a sort of a sense of satisfaction on her face. She's been quite focused on it for half an hour, sort of in the murky darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, our next adventure awaits. But I'm not going first. I'm a weakling. Which among you is the bravest of all to lead us in this merry way?
You've barely got half of the sentence out before Rack steps up and says, "What are we doing now?"
Go on. You we're having a look through there. Apparently, you've been chosen. You're the chosen man.
Good. What do we think's on the other side?
What do we think? If we got a short list, could be carvings, computers, a pit of snakes,
Sandcrate breeding center.
Oh, full of little tanks, eggs, Moab eggs, slaves. I don't know. Could be anything. Could be a lot of things. If it's just where they keep their brushes and buckets for water, I'll be very disappointed. Let's put it that way.
Spare light bulbs.
Spare light bulbs. No. With half an hour hacking from a decent hacker, they really don't want their light bulbs nicked.
So Rack steps up to the door, touches the contact, and not insanely quickly, not Star Wars door quickly, it slides open in the thin atmosphere, not making a lot of noise, but you can just about hear it, to reveal a small, roughly rectangular room. The actual walls are rough hewn, but it is a roughly rectangular space. And it's largely empty. But right in the middle of it are, in a row, right across the sort of back wall, are three fairly advanced looking robots.
Oh no. Oh no.
How? Sorry, go on.
No, go for it. Your question was going to be better than mine.
Was it? How big are they roughly then? What are we talking?
No, it wasn't better than mine.
They're roughly human-sized, you'd estimate, when they're operating, but at the moment they're in a kind of slump. So they come up to about chest height on a typical human, slightly less on a Barga.
Do they look rugged or spindly or somewhere in between?
I'm tempted to say Roll a robotics check.
Robotics? Oh no.
But any kind of
You know, none of us have ever even got anything to do with robotics.
any kind of mechanical engineering kind of check would probably be sensible.
I can throw the things up I've got. I can have engineering power, electronic sensors, electronics comms, electronics computers, mechanic.
Okay. If you've got mechanic and you've got engineering power, what are your numbers for those two?
Sarai's got mechanic 0 and engineering power 1.
Okay. Between them, I'll give you a +1 for that on computing in this case, on robots in this case. So that plus education.
Okay. Okay. She's got 0 education. She did what she had to do, then she got out. I blamed Stefan, to be honest. It's really nice on pub plotting. Oh no, not good enough though. I don't think 5 + 1 is 6.
A 6. Okay. Physically, they look fairly sturdy, but you can't really tell how strong or tough they would be.
Okay. Are they kitted out with like drill arms or laser things or anything like that on their person, from what we can see?
As far as you can tell, they do appear to have cutting tools and the like fitted to them, yes.
Okay. Oh, we don't get into a fight with these guys.
Was that on the cards, Stefan was saying?
Call me a cynical woman, but we've had far too many run-ins with things I'd rather not have run-ins with. They look sleepy though. Kara, do they look sleepy? Yeah, they look sleepy. I believe that's the scientific term for them. Interesting. That's really not what I was expecting, Ben. That's very good work.
Can I have a look at the cutting tools and see if they would approximate the same sort of shape as the D6 shaped rocks that Soraya picked up?
Yeah. What kind of skills have you got will go with this, do you think?
Not many. Let's have a look, shall we?
I'm tempted to say you could probably get away with any kind of mechanical engineering skill.
Probably pushing. Actually, no, it's going to be use, isn't it, rather than anything else? I was going to say energy weapons. I'm assuming they are energy-based cutting tools, or potentially just investigate. It's not.
You
really
know what?
that specific.
Investigate's not a bad call. Since you're talking about trying to compare one thing to another, why not?
I've got two pieces.
Yeah. I mean, you've actually got one with you. You could literally hold it up next to it and do a visual comparison, couldn't you?
Hey, Soraya, can I see one of those rocks that you picked up?
Yeah, look.
I'll give it back.
No, you better. These are precious to me now.
In fact, you can just hold it there.
Okay, there we are. That's better. These are my precious things.
That is a 7 + 1 from investigators, mate.
Okay, as far as you can tell, though you absolutely cannot swear that these things were cut by those particular tools, they're certainly the kind of tools that could cut very much that sort of thing.
It's plausible. It's not out of the. Okay.
It's definitely possible.
Well, I guess if you're looking for regular cutting, you go to androids and robotics, don't you? Because they can do exactly the same thing thousands of times a day.
Yeah, it makes sense. Much makes sense. Although it makes you wonder what if they've. Cara, do you know how quickly these three people could mine?
People, that's very kind that you're calling them people, though. Oh, you've ruined it by doing that. I thought you were giving them like You're going all Asimov and things.
I don't know how intelligent they are, do I? They could probably more so than me. Agnar says.
Right, they're probably stronger than you.
Certainly more so than
stronger, I
Stefan.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Is there? Can Kara get close enough? Is there like something on them that I can look at a barcode, like a number on them or something that she could put in to try and look up to see if they're if they're regular for this kind of job, if they're outlawed even. Do you know what I mean? So can I find an identification number or something like that?
Yes, I think that's a very good idea. So roll an investigation check for me, I guess. All you're doing is looking for things.
I am looking for things. Can I use intellect with that, please?
Yes, intellect is fine.
Thank you. I'm glad. Okay, that was a good roll. 10 minus 1 is 9.
Okay. All right. Initially, you don't see any sort of individual serial numbers. They may be somewhere more discreet than on the outside of the things. You do, however, find an area where an attempt appears to have been made to obscure a marking on the side of the robots.
Oh. How much of the marking is left, or has it been well cleared out?
It's sort of been. It looks like it's been sandblasted almost. Filed off. You can't read any of it visually, as far as you can tell.
Okay. What I would like to do, and this may take some time, of course, and it may take some time not down here, I suppose. Can I take a photo, and can I? What they call it? Because I've been talking about it a lot recently, like back. Like you put a photo onto the computer, and then you can back research for similar images. But can I do that with PSP Pan System? Isn't it at the local lot? Pan
Yep.
System Power. So can she sort of take a picture and then go through, search Pan System Power and mining and robotics? If we think that's going to take hours, then that's something she'll do back upstairs or something. That's fine. But that's something it'd be interesting to know.
It's all right. Yes, roll an electronics computers check for me with intellect, please.
What was it? Sorry, I was typing to Leno. I got a bit excited about freeing the robots. Sorry.
Electronic computers.
Yep, I can do that
with intellect.
Okay. I got a 5, but that's plus 3, so that's 8.
Okay. Can you roll 1d6 for me?
I can do that. It's another 3. Hitting the 3s tonight.
All right. It takes you a matter of a few minutes, and it doesn't take very long to find a couple of images of the Pan System Power facility, and in it they are talking about the robots they use for assembling and working on their production lines. And there are pictures in the background. I mean, they're not focusing on the robots exactly, but there are background images of robots, behind people who are sort of showing off the production line and the development areas. There's certainly a strong similarity, shall we say, in the way those PSP robots look and the ones in this room.
A line of questioning, Ewan.
Agnar will say, I mean, they spoke a lot about, workers coming here or miners coming here when there was something, an order to be fulfilled. It seems odd that they would need workers with 3 robots.
You'd imagine that these
Maybe.
three. You'd
I
imagine
don't
these
really
3
know
robots.
much about mining, but
You'd think that these 3 robots would get as much done as 10 people, especially this kind of carved out stuff. Suspicious. We need to get into that. We need to get into that building, man. I feel we need to spend another night or something, but I don't know how. We've got to find a way. Maybe we get them drunk. I know that's not everything, but hear me out.
I mean, if you want to have a brunch, just say, and we'll
It's always time
get
for
someone
brunch.
to deliver. We'll get someone to deliver something. I'm sure.
We'll just drop it over.
Someone will drop something out here.
Like, I'm sure the Dilub Rou Just Eat is like top notch, but it's a long way out for some guy on a little hover bike.
Well, that's true. Fighting off Moabs.
Yes.
You'd imagine the tip would have to be pretty high.
If it doesn't get here in half an hour, we get it for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't get here in 2 hours. You have to go out and find the corpse of the delivery driver and fight off the Moabs to get it. Let's I think that could be a good idea. Staying another night. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure what we'd get out of it. It does make me wonder whether the door upstairs was replaced with something higher security. Whether they wanted lesser people getting in there. Where the damage on the door came from.
It does mean we've wasted another night that I've paid for at our nice hotel, though, which I'm quite upset about. It must be said. That'll be 3 nights. It was very. It was 11,000 credits.
Maybe you should call them back and cancel the rooms for tonight and ask for a partial refund or something.
I guess some of our crew is still there. I suppose it feels rude to bump them out.
Quite a few people are in fact staying there.
Rose is there. If Rose is happy, I'm happy. Rose sent me a message earlier today, actually. She said like it's the nicest room she stayed in for ages. She took a photo of her like drinking from the minibar. That's cost me another 300 credits. But at least they're happy. Do you know what I mean? At least they're having a nice, relaxing time. And we put our crew through a lot of hell, don't we?
They do deserve it. That is certainly true. Yeah. How new does this room look, Ben? Can we tell?
Do an investigate with I guess social, please.
Ooh. That is a 5 plus 3 is an 8.
Okay. Your sort of approximate guess would be within a year.
Okay. Newer than the rest of the mine.
Yeah, I mean, the parts of the mine where the lifts are and most of the main passageways are much older than that. The bits where the actual mining is going on, the little sort of the dead end passageways, obviously some of the rock face there is cut much newer. But this area is relatively recent.
Okay.
Now, they said that they never have any real run-ins with PSP. They said they barely fly over here. They said they don't. They're out there on their own. They went to Garrow's place, but we've worked out what dropped out the sky was probably that thing in his room. They've not been. It's possible they've not been telling us the full story at all. I guess it's nothing to do with us, but it's of interest. If we get them drunk, maybe we can. It's been lovely to have us here. We've had a lovely time. Let's have another barbecue.
Cruise it out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possibly. I can all say. I mean, I guess there's two It's two questions that I would have.
Yes.
Certainly one
Wow.
is
And maybe none.
we could. It would take a long time, and it's probably better that that Sammy did it. But check around the walls and see which portions of the walls have had little cubes cut away and which have been mined less accurately.
No, I don't know if Sammy will come back down.
I don't know if it's even worth it. To be fair, I'm just interested, I guess.
I think it's definitely worth showing her the cubes that we've got, though.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's a good idea. Ben, could you remind me quickly, the door that we found, the broken door upstairs, was it broken from the inside?
It appeared that
Or the
though there
outs?
was some superficial damage on the inside, that
It
looked
come-
as if it was because someone had tried to break in from the outside.
Yes. Okay.
So it had ended up buckling a bit or warping a bit on the inside as part of that.
Yeah. And I suppose my second point would be whether the attempted break-in had anything to do with these, and who else would know that they're here.
Yeah, maybe people were coming looking back for the stuff. Interesting. Maybe PSP came back, or Lara's band or something. But then they feel like they said they didn't spot anything on camera until they left. That felt a bit more high quality than a Lara's band attack.
Yeah, maybe the miners. Maybe they're not getting as much work now.
So they wanted to smash them up. They've gone a bit
I mean, I'd imagine they know where their cameras are. I'm not saying that it will be any sort of high tech break in by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they'd know the terrain.
If they're putting the workers out of work through technology, I don't know. Did you wherever I grew up on my planet, this is Kara, there was a time that came where they replaced a lot of the workers in our shops with just computers that you scanned your goods through. And it made money for the shops. They never put their prices down, but they saved so much money through that. And I wonder if they've done the same here.
But then everyone got, less time at work, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but
what happens? You just start working 3-day weeks, don't you?
Well, the problem was my planet wasn't like that. They just didn't pay them. A lot of poverty among those that lost their work. So it is something close to my heart. Maybe it may not be that at all, but there's definitely, this is not the sort of equipment I was expecting to see here, And it fits in with what you said with the miners and the well cut stone compared to the roughly hewn stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions. I feel like we've got another round of questions.
I'm just spitballing ideas while we're down here in this,
Your spitballing is some of the best
lovely
spitballing I've
scenery.
known. That's a lovely place to be. Geological South.
Geologically speaking, it's down there. It's down there.
That said, I'm tired of breathing my own recycled air.
Yeah, I think unless there's anything else you want to nose around.
Is it time for brunch? I'll take some pictures. And I'm scared about trying to get these things started because they could do anything. Do you know what I mean? But
oh yeah. Don't start them up.
Let's go and have a chat with our lovely hosts. But let's go back, have a relax, bit of brunch.
All right.
Get back out in the sun.
Can I have all four of you roll quick survival checks for me, please?
No.
Can. Just straight survival.
Yes. You can have decks with it. Actually.
It's because you didn't look at the ceiling, Ewan.
Agnar got a 7 + 2 is 9.
Mm-hmm.
9 for Soraya and a 6 for Kara.
Okay.
Stefan got a 5.
All right. On the way out, as you make your way through the gloomy passageways and head back towards the south, in order to get to the closest of the lifts. On his way out of the narrow part of this network down here, Stefan slips a bit on a rock, and bangs his head and visor against the wall of the cave, of the mine. Immediately, the internal readout of your vac suit starts blinking yellow. It needs a once over, a maintenance check by someone who's experienced in such things, and before you really rely on it for something critical. But as other than that slight misadventure, you make your way to the lift and climb onto the lift shaft and press the button. And without any hesitation, the lift starts to carry the whole party of you up. At which point, I think we should take our break.
World, shining, shimmering, splendid. Sarai's not reading the room at all, with Stefan looking nervous about his flashing suit. Come on, join me in
I think the singing
Stefan.
is quite comforting. Back to normal for them.
It's a duet. Picked a duet.
Agnar turns the volume down again on his communicator.
Excellent. So we shall take our break then.
Maybe.
Yes, let's take our break.
Perfect.
to the sound of the singing muting down into silence. Yes, good, cool. Right, let's get rid of some things. I'm not very good at the halftime break thing. That goes. And that goes. But that comes up. Look at that. There we go. Look, our faces have gone. I'll put some music on as well. Right, back in 5 minutes. You can go somewhere if you want to. We're not the boss of you, but it'd be lovely if you come back after the break. Have a loo, go grab a drink, and fill your glasses for the toast. Welcome back to part 2 of tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star, episode 50, or season 2, episode 9, for those of us that don't like big numbers. We've hit the most important part of the evening, which is the toast. For those of you that are regulars or have been before, you know the deal. If you're new, hello and welcome. This is the toast. It is. It's the big 5-0 IMT. Can you believe it? I was looking at the numbers yesterday. I think of all the stuff we've done, it's getting up there. It must be said, but it's nice, man. 50 feels like something, doesn't it? It feels like we've put something down. It feels like we put something down. That's like it's between 100 and 150 hours of this, which is quite a lot anyway. And then we did quite a lot of it before we even started streaming. So
yeah,
my goodness. Anyway. You'd thought Ben had been able to kill off our characters by now and got us doing something else, but he's just too kind to us. However, I say he's been kind and that all our characters have survived. That's not totally true, because there's one that we miss, weekly, that sits in our heart, and when we go to sleep at night, there's that nagging thing at the back of your brain that something's not quite right. Even when the crew have had a great day, when they've completed a magnificent adventure, when they have explored or created or found something and fulfilled their roles in life, there's still that nagging thing at the back of the brain that it could have been better because someone is missing. And that someone is a man with strong forearms and a chiseled chin. A man who poured the best cocktails you could ever imagine. He never looked down his nose at even the burliest of men ordering a very fruity drink with an umbrella in. And that was one of his great strengths. He didn't judge you on what you drank. He was just happy that you were happy. He would often say, in fact, together we drink. It was one of his things. And so right now, together we will drink. So I'd love you all to join me in raising a glass. Together we will drink to the late, great Grey Hill Bast.
to Grey Hill Bast.
To Grey Hill Bast.
Thank you. So, the party arrives back at the top of the shaft, and perhaps unsurprisingly, there's nobody about immediately.
It's very touching that everyone joins in with the toast. It must be said. Sorry, at a moment there, just some character. Well, are we leaving? Sarai will turn to Agnar. You said that you want us to leave the stuff, right? Be all tidy and nice and friendly. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I think it will instill some goodwill. Perhaps let's move some stuff over to the other ready room, airlock.
Oh, you balance it out a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe not everything, because someone might want to come in this way. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Okay, let's start. Sarai will grab a couple of sets of boots and sort of masks and that to drag across the open space, sort of showing willing.
Agnar will pick up the light stuff.
Well, naturally,
being the weakest of the crew.
you make your way back. It's almost on your way back anyway. It's a little bit closer to the main buildings than the one you've just come out of. And you pop open the outer door, and well, you've seen it before. You know exactly what's there. It's a few pieces of equipment, and you have no difficulty at all finding a place to hang and stack things neatly in sensible places before before heading back towards the main buildings.
We're headed out in the morning, Ben. We've only, if it's 30 minutes waiting, it's only going to be a couple of hours since we set out, right?
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be late morning, I would think, because by the time you actually got everybody up and moving and everything, it was getting on for mid-morning, I think, before you really set off.
What sort of meal is it you have around late morning?
Well, on Dilub Rou, tradition calls for brunch.
Oh, wow. Who would go against tradition?
On the Baltic Star by this point, it would be a late third brunch.
Late third brunch.
I think.
Oh, I'm hungry for brunch. Should we go and see what we can eat in our new little home? It is time for brunch, Spez. Cool. So I'm guessing we'll head back to our to the bunkhouse or whatever it is. I guess, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you head back. You don't see any sight of your hosts on the way back past the house, and enter in through the airlock without any mishap. And inside, find everybody is lounging about and relaxing, apart from Sammy and Zoe. Zoe is sitting on one of the cots. She's stripped off her vac suit, and Zoe is examining her leg.
Cara will go over straight away, actually, as she pulls her mask off, and she'll say, "Yeah, Sammy, how you doing? How's it looking? Are you all right?
Doesn't really hurt."
Zoe, is she going to live?
Zoe gives you a sort of exasperated look. Well, obviously, it's not a horrible wound. She's going to keep the leg.
Don't sugarcoat it for me, because Sam is listening. That's good to know.
She's going to be fine.
That's good. What a moment, eh, Sammy? That was not a nice moment, though. Huh? I'm sorry you went through that. I know you've seen worse with the zombie gloop and all that sort of stuff, but still not nice, huh?
I think those things are going to be in my dreams for a while.
I guess it will replace Stefan, won't it?
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Oh. Who else was in there? It was what's her name?
You got
Jax.
Amelia Jax. You've got Tilon Rack. You've got your four characters, Sammy and Zoe, and Garrow, of course.
Garrow, of course, yeah. Rack and Garrow. They're chill. You said Rack and Garrow are like chilling more than anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man.
Was it Rack who whipped up breakfast last time?
Yes, it was.
Agnar, say, Rack, do you think you can fashion any kind of brunch out of what we've got here?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. And he hauls himself to his feet. Jax picks herself up and goes over to help. And as Zoe wanders off to sort of relax herself a bit, loosen her kit and take off her weapon and everything, Garrow goes over to have a quiet word with her in the corner.
Sarai would like to approach Sammy, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She sort of puts her hand on the shoulder and says, I'm glad we got out okay in the end. I found something that I found interesting, and I don't have any skills in this field. I was wondering if you could have a look and tell me more. And she pulls out a couple of the half brick-sized rocks, and says, I guess a couple of things. Is this the kind of stuff that they're to be mining? And if so, like we saw, and she sort of lowers her voice. It's like we saw a few robots in there. Is this the sort of thing that a mining robot might do? Is this the sort of stuff they want? Like, what am I looking at here?
She takes them and gives them a sort of fairly thorough examination. They certainly could be machine cut. Very even looking surface. As rocks, they're not that interesting. Did they look like they'd been sort of put somewhere for safekeeping or just dumped?
Well, you know the bit we came out of when you guys headed straight out again. To the left, there was like just a big pile of rubble with crates in, so we didn't explore too much. But to the right in the alcove, there was a pile of these, all uniform, all cut the same. So it's hard to tell whether that's just a wastage area or, like, if that's the way they go about it, just chopping things into those cubes to get to what they want to. I don't know.
Well, there are some sort of really specialist mining robots out there. People use for retrieving things in very dangerous locations. And they tend to be a bit more discriminating. They know exactly what they're looking for. This looks like it was just cut up into uniform sizes, really.
So maybe these weren't specific mining robots. They might have been repurposed from something, perhaps.
Either that or whoever programmed them didn't really know what they were programming them to do.
Kara, come over here a sec. Kara wanders over. And Sarah says, show the pictures you took of the robots. And Kara sort of shows Sammy them. He says, what do you make of these?
She gives him a good long look. And then she says, I don't really know a lot about robots, but they look less substantial and physically larger than the mining robots I've seen. Dedicated mining robots tend to be shaped like tunnelers.
Yeah, got you. Squat and chunky.
Yeah.
So this is like someone coming across something and making the best of what they found. Interesting. Thanks, Sammy. Can we get you a drink of anything? Rack, is that brunch coming along?
Yeah, on the way. Give me a minute.
Oh, wow. Cheers, Sammy. Rest up, yeah? I'll grab you a drink. If anything comes to you, just let us know, yeah? And get better soon. Stefan needs a hiding place. And you're a bigger hiding place when you're on your feet and not lying down.
While this is going on, Zoe and Garrow wander over to find Agnar.
Yes.
I know you're famous for your sort of deep booming voice and all that, but try and look like we're not talking about anything remotely interesting for a moment.
Oh, that I can do. I thought you were going to ask me to sing some karaoke for a minute then, and I was somewhat worried. Go on.
Garrow thinks Sammy's in trouble.
Okay. Have you seen this before?
Garrow nods and says, "Sand crates, they're venomous." I mean, really, really venomous.
Right.
Now, I mean, I don't think they always inject all they've got, and I don't think they necessarily always have a full load, but it can be fatal.
And I mean, I assume it's standard procedures to carry some anti-venom in mines like this with them teeming around. Should we go ask?
We can certainly ask, but experience tells me that stuff's really expensive. They probably won't have any.
Okay, how long are we talking? I know.
If she's taken a big dose, she'll be really unwell by tomorrow and probably dead the day after.
Hmm.
We need to get back to the. Oh, I'm not in this conversation. Sorry. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Sorry.
Okay. Suggestions?
It's always possible the Priory has some antivenom. If not, at least it would be a good place for her to be made comfortable.
What about the port?
I don't doubt there's someone you could buy antivenom from at Azurport, but I mean, what they might charge for that, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so we've got options. That's the main thing. If you think of anything else or any other symptoms or ideas, then let me know. I'll let some of the crew know. I'll speak to Soraya and Kara. Especially if it seems like we're going to have to split up.
I've seen this once before. Someone at the out here at Swisher got bitten, and within a few hours they started to get really stiff, their limbs, aching, joints, that kind of thing. So that might be worth watching out for. The other thing I would point out is the whole Free Company put in everything they had in order to try to raise the money for the antivenom, and we couldn't afford it.
How much, what sort of ballpark are you talking there?
We're not wealthy people, but I think they were after something of the order of 100,000+.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a look at the leg. I'm medically trained myself.
Yes, you are.
Just a cursory look. I'm just gonna send a message, and then I'll go over it as to not incite panic, I suppose. But thank you both. And he'll relay all of that information in some kind of message to Kara, Soraya, Stefan, and just say, don't keep it calm. Don't react too panicky. Especially you, Stefan. I know what you like. And then he'll wander over and he'll say, "Oh, do you want me to have a look at the leg? I am quite the field medic."
Sure. If you want to look at my legs, fine.
Agnar laughs. and picks it up and moves the knee joint. Does that feel all right? Have you got, there's nothing broken. You can move it. Feels okay. And he'll, I assume he has a scanner or some kind of.
Yes, he's got a med kit which he can use to do some diagnosis.
Wonderful. So he will use med kit.
Okay. Can you roll a medic check with education, please?
Yes. Can he use one of his +2 med kits?
Yes, certainly can.
Wonderful. In fact, I think that's his last +2 med kit.
Oh.
Medic skill.
Back to us, in we go.
Sorry, what did you say, Ben? Medic skill with
medic skill with education.
Education.
Oh, you got a boon if you need it.
I would definitely take the boon if it's not too late.
Thanks, Bez.
It's fine.
Good work. Cool. Which makes it pretty good. That's a 10 on the dice. Thanks to Spez.
When a hero
Plus
comes along.
5, +2 for the med kit, so +7, so 17.
A total of 17.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, in terms of the actual wound, you have no trouble at all patching it up and sorting it out almost instantly. It is disinfected. It is, good as new. You also become aware during the process quite quickly that even though you're not human yourself, you've patched up an awful lot of humans in the field. And the blood that is leaking from the wound as you dress it is stickier than it should be. Not quite as free flowing and free running.
Okay. He'll finish patching it up and just say if you notice any change or if you've got any issues with it, just I'll be here having brunch. Just shout, not too loudly, but just shout.
Thanks.
And I guess head off to find. He'd probably go to Cara first, I guess. In a crisis, whatever you want to call this, and he'll head over to Cara and say it's definitely not as it should be. The leg. Assuming we're not standing right next to her, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. Conspiratorially.
Turns around and just says it.
Yeah, I think to be fair, while you were actually treating her, people would probably have given you a fair degree of space just for her own privacy and comfort,
Yeah.
Cara frowns. She says, that the money, the antivenom, we can find it. We'll find it. We'll get it. We'll sort it. However we sort it is down to us, I guess. But this is definitely cut into our time here. And I think another night here is out of the question. I think if we want to find out anything about this, if we're interested, it happens now. And maybe it happens quicker than you and I would normally go about things.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the other option is the mine's not going anywhere that I'm aware of. We could always come back. But either way, I'm happy to go about things, or for the group to go about things in a more blunt force way. Ben, sorry, would I have gauged any idea of what sort of timescale we're talking from the diagnosis?
Timescale for what? Sorry.
for death, I suppose.
No, don't say it.
At the moment, all you've got is effectively a slightly modified bleeding time, elevated blood pressure, and slightly thready heart rate.
Okay, but
It's
nothing
hard to know
compare it
from that what the prognosis is in detail.
Okay, cool. No worries. I'll say I don't know. I don't know how much poison she's got in her, or how long it will take to take effect. But that thing was on her for some time, I think.
It didn't get through you, did it? Right, no, you're okay. We managed to get it off.
I think so. I feel okay.
Okay.
I think I'd know. I'll let you know when I next take my armor off, which may be sometime. If we're going
To be
back
fair,
down
the
there.
benefit of wearing a vac suit everywhere is that if something punctures it, you know anyway, because
Yeah,
the
warning.
warning tells you it's got a puncture.
Very true. Very true.
Look, honestly, there's a few reasons to get back to Azurport anyway. One, I want a nice bed. She's trying to lighten the mood. She's not just being totally flippant. She sort of smirks. One, I want a nice bed. Two, it's worth asking around town for a few things anyway.
Yeah.
And I know that we could stop at the monastery, and I know they could probably look after her, but we've got Rose. We've got. I've got a feeling. Let me double check. I've got a feeling that our doctor came down? Our actual.
I think you might be right.
Our actual doctor is in as actual ship's doctor is in Azurport.
Are you
Actually,
saying
you're right?
In very fancy hotel room, lovely linen, comfy beds, nice surroundings, anything you could want. A doctor there, even better than you, Agnar, my chum. And I know
you're saying you want a second opinion?
I'm not saying I want a second opinion. I just want someone that can mop her brow and tell her everything's going to be okay while you and I go out and make sure everything's okay.
My bedside manner does tend to be a bit rough and ready.
You're absolutely right. You do have Gerg Sutter with you.
Sutter's there, so let's get her back. I think you're right. Like, we could lean on them, but for what right now?
I don't think we have enough necessarily.
We can ask around town. Do you know what I mean? There might be rumours and things there anyway.
Reward posters for missing.
If they're missing robots. It could be it could be another way into PSP. They could be shorting the other miners. There might be people family members back there. There's a lot of things.
Let's get going then, because I have no idea how long we've got, and I have no idea how long it's going to take to
find the right people.
Yeah. I'll go make our apologies to the. Well, give our thanks to the mine owners, I suppose, for letting us stay here. Just double check they don't have anything.
Yeah.
If you guys want to start.
Should we start loading up? We'll get some brunch down us for the journey, because it's a few hours. It's like 2 hours from the monastery to town, isn't it? And then it's at least another hour from the monastery to here. So
yeah, the way it's laid out, though, you're actually slightly closer to Azurport here than you would be if you were at the Priory.
So, but it's still like an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? You'd say it's enough that
it's over 2 hours on a G carrier, yeah.
Okay. Well, we need some brunch at least. Let's not worry people. Let's not worry Sammy. The people that know. We can tell the people that don't know, but let's keep things.
Might have to tell Rack it's his G carrier, I guess. Which is another good reason to get back. Actually, to
free him up a bit.
He's a great person, but his cooking skills. It's not the best brunch I've had.
How the worm has turned. Your stomach is speaking to your mind.
Well, in times of stress.
Yeah, you had a career eating army food. You don't necessarily need it again.
Okay, I'll talk to Rack, see if we can get moving, and then you talk to hosts and say that we're sort of we've got to leave quicker than planned.
Perfect. I'll hold them off on the rock results. It'd be a good reason to come back with Sammy.
Oh, good, cool.
And Agnar will, I suppose, suit up and go out to try. They're not here, are they? They're not in the room with us.
They're not in the building you're in.
Yeah, he'll suit up and I guess go to the house.
Okay. After just a moment outside the door, it opens and Penna is standing there. Hey, how'd you find it down the mine?
Good, thanks. Are we on a person-to-person channel, Ben? I take it we're not.
Yeah.
Broadcasting to anyone wearing a suit. Yeah, it was interesting. It was. We had a bit of a run-in with some sand crates, though. In fact, our geologist who was looking at the rocks for you has had a bite. We're a little bit concerned, so I guess we're heading back to town unless you have anything here that can treat the poison.
I wish I did. We've lost a couple of people over the years to sand crates. They're tiny little things, but you've seen. I can help you out a bit, I think. In case this turns out to be useful. There's a trader in the circle of stuff around the outside of Azureport called Corin Stelt.
Oh, hang on a sec. I'm just writing out a circle. How are we spelling that, mate?
Korrin.
Yep.
Stelt.
Okay, thank you.
Corin Scout, and he'll be typing that in to his communicator, and he'll send it over to Kara, just as a written reminder. He's older than the rest of them, so memory's not what it used to be.
When we were looking for anti-venom for one of our friends, he's the guy whose name kept coming up.
That's really useful. Thank you very much, and thank you for your hospitality. We wish we could stay longer. Hopefully we'll be able to return if that's all right with yourselves. I'm sure our geologist has some information to relay back to you.
Well, that's brilliant, and obviously we'd love to have you back, but make sure she's okay first.
Yes, of course. We'll that is our top priority. Again, sorry to leave in such a hurry. If you do think of anything else, here's my contact information. Call anytime if it's concerning.
Sure. Let me know what progress you have, and if there's any help we can give, any contact we can make for you, we're here.
Thank you. Well, I'll leave you to the rest of your day, and I'll help load up.
Okay. Good luck. And by the time you head outside, everybody is enthusiastically throwing things into the G carrier, including Rack, who seems to have started throwing food at people outside, even though they now can't actually eat it outside. He's figuring they'll take it into the G carrier and eat it in there when the atmosphere's pressurized. And Zoe is explaining to Sammy that they've got to go immediately because there's something really important they forgot to do, and she can't remember what it is, but Agnar knows. And and is bullying her into the G carrier.
Is Garrow staying or coming?
He's going to stay.
Okay.
He's hoping to recover at Bycrest a little bit before living on his own again. And he seems comfortable to think they'll find him some odd jobs to do around the place.
Thank you for everything, Garrow. Thank you for showing us your place, and thank you for leading us here, and thank you for all the information you've given. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope we see you again soon, man.
Thank you.
We count you as one of our friends, which other people tell us is the best place to be.
Sure.
If anything comes up, if you need anything to do it, you've got our details. Just drop us a line. We're only a couple of hours away, aren't we? And we're here for another few days. So.
Excellent. Well, maybe I'll catch a lift to Azureport and find you guys there at some point.
Oh, we've got a nice room. We can get a room service. We've got a mini bar. Anything you could need. Come and hang.
Excellent. So everyone piles into the G carrier. The doors are sealed and pressurized. Rack hurls himself into the driver's seat and guns it. And it sets off at a fair old lick. And Sammy's sort of looking around like, are we in a hurry? Are people chasing us?
No, we're fine. Don't worry. No one's chasing us. Not now, anyway. Soraya, why don't you sing us back to Azureport? What's out of character?
Yeah. Oh, it's nice to breathe the air of the G carrier. It gets into my lungs. I'll sing. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Ain't that right, Sammy? Sing with me. I don't know if you know this one. It's one that I used to sing in my scouting days. An old disc. Just hum it. Just hum it. I know the words. You hum it.
Sammy's just staring at you in abject horror.
Come on. You love little birds, don't you, Sammy? There's 3 of them in this song. And and she sings the way back, I guess. I'm not going to do it for 2 hours.
No,
Perish the thought.
That would seem like overkill. Yeah. Okay. So the G carrier speeds across the landscape, and this time, of course, Rack is much more familiar with the layout. He's not a newcomer. He's a bit more familiar with it, and he drives straight into the ring, cuts through it, and then finds one of the lanes across the downport open pad, and pulls up to a suitably marked parking space just outside the blue domes of the center of Azureport. It's possible, based on the sound the thing makes as he brings it to a stop, that he's slightly over revved the motors beyond what they were really supposed to do, given their age. And but he doesn't seem to mind that they're a bit more rattly and a bit less comfortable than they used to be. And he hops down, makes sure everyone's buttoned up in their suits, and pops open the hatch.
Nice. As they get out, Kara would like to drop a message to Gerg Sutter and say, "Hey, you guys at the you guys in the rooms, or you elsewhere?"
This place is amazing.
And you've had all this extra space the last 2 nights as well. You're spreading
Well,
out.
Yeah, but they're not exactly stingy with space to begin with.
I'm glad you're having a good time. It's been a funny few weeks, isn't it? Let's face it. And she sort of switches to text, and she says, "We got Sammy. She's been bitten by a sand crate, snake on the planet. Agnar's checked her out. Her blood is looking weird. We need to bring her back. Are you okay to look after her while we hunt around, follow some leads for some anti-venom?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Kara turns to Sammy and says, "Right, these rooms. These rooms I was talking about on the way back. You ready for a day in luxury?"
Sure.
Sarai, do you want to take her over? Don't sing too much, though. I think she's had enough. But you've got all the details. Take her in. Get comfy. So Sarai will lead Sammy over. I don't know how people are splitting, but Sarai will definitely go to take Sammy towards the hotel.
Okay. So Sammy's heading up to the Cadence.
Yeah.
And all we need to know is who's going with. Obviously, Rack and Jax aren't going with you at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to probably see if they can scrounge some spare parts to improve the motors on the G carrier. But who else wants to head back to the hotel?
I guess Agnar going back would make sense. He'll stick with the patient.
Right.
Before though they all split up, he'll say, "Oh, Kara, here's it's my cashless card, just in case you need. I have no idea how much it's going to be, but just take it. It's fine. I'll head back to the hotel and just keep an eye on things. Check out that minibar." He says a little bit louder than the conversation.
Kara sort of smiles grimly at him and says, "Make sure there's some peanuts for when I get back." Yeah.
We've still got like 2 tons of them on the Baltic Star. Okay.
Super. It's Daddy Agnar.
Maybe I'll send someone out for some peanuts.
It does feel very. This is optimum Daddy Agnar. He's literally given Kara his bank account, which has quite a lot of money in it.
I'm pretty sure, if not last week, the week before, somebody redeemed it, and it hasn't. We haven't been shopping since. Would you believe it?
I know. This is very strange for us to go more than a few weeks without shopping trips.
Well, yeah. Yeah, glorified shopping episodes are what we do best. It's our hitting zone.
It's Ben's fault for dragging us into actual storyline.
I feel so terrible about that.
Ben!
I'll tell you what, Kara, if you want me to pick up some peanuts, look, just stick something on this spare cashless card for me, would you? You've got all my money.
I'll tell you what I've got. I've got some of those credits left over from. I've got some of those left over that we didn't give to what's her name from Lara's band, and she just drops in like 1,000 credits on like 1,000 credits worth of chips sort of stuff. That would be enough to get anything done when it back there.
I'll get some peanuts.
Not 1,000 credits worth of peanuts. I don't like them that much.
well,
regardless of what other people say, anything more than 60 credits worth is just over the top.
Let us know how you get on, or if you need anything.
I will do. Stefan, you coming with me? Yeah, I feel like you're the man for this.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Cool. Let's go.
You can choose to take Zoe with you. She'll be perfectly happy to stay by by Sammy's side, or if you can find a use for her, she'll come with you. Either way.
Oh, that's a good call. Zoe has certain abilities. She's not quite Obi-Wan. She can't these are. We'll give you this for free.
We've already found the droids we were looking for. haven't we?
Exactly. Yeah. Found the droids we didn't even know we were looking for.
Wow, or did we? But no, I think Stefan will say, yeah, come on. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good little team. Cara, Stefan, Zoe. Yes.
All right. So, Cara, Stefan, and Zoe. An unlikely match if you know our past record.
I'm a
But
big fan
nonetheless,
of this. Big fan of this three. This is good three for this.
I think it's a good trio. This one.
Yeah.
So yes, Cara, Stefan, and Zoe. Where are you guys going?
Right. The
What
places
did Agnar say in that message?
So we've got Corin Stout, a trader. Now the best place to ask for such people on Outer Circle must be that Circle Club. The Circle Club, Circle Bar.
Circle Club, yeah.
Circle Club. Now who went there before? Let me double check if any of us went there before, because it's an inn, isn't it? Sorry everyone, just talk among yourselves. Marcus from Cotswolds. No, that's nothing to do with it.
That's not us.
Morse's Pit. That was just before Morse's Pit.
It was before Morse's Pit.
Mother Lissa. It was before Mother Lissa.
Mm-hmm.
The guy on the desk. That's the head to the TAS. Oh, it's after the TAS, isn't it?
Before the TAS.
Before
it was the same people who were in
the TAS,
the Travelers Aid Society, wasn't it? I believe.
That's SSA, which is Stefan was definitely there. Soraya and Agnar. So Stefan is the one that knows the Circle Club.
Okay.
So Carl, say that you guys are talking about the Circle Club, right? You've been there.
Yeah. Do you think this guy's a bar kind of? Someone will know him there, I guess, right? Were there too many bars around, Ben?
There were a handful scattered out there. They're pretty much down at heel in the ring.
It's a good place. It's a good place to start, I guess.
I wanted to go there anyway because Amara, remember the girl that we kept alive from? She talks about there was a finder at the Circle Bar anyway. And I know it's not our primary thing, but it feels like the sort of place to ask about people. Someone might know someone who knows someone, give a few credits to a kid. And,
sure.
Yeah.
Let's head in. Let's head that way. Yes.
Okay. You know the way quite well. It's setting off on foot. You've got to cross the open area of the downport. But again, there are parts of the downport where literally if you were standing there, there's every chance a starship might land on you. But there are plenty of parts that are marked not as being landing pads. Vehicles come and go all the time, and people wander back and forth. There's public transport, but if you're only going as far as the ring itself, it's not that far to walk just straight across the downport's pads. And it's only a few minutes. You have to get used to that weird thing after you've been inside the domes, because they tint the sky blue. When you set outside, the actual light changes colour to a more yellowy reddish colour. But it's not uncomfortable. It's just different. It's notable. And when you set off across the downport, you can see comings and goings left and right as various ships take off and land. It's a big open space, so you can see ships coming and going, even those that have taken off from the other side of Azureport. It's not very long before you filter into the outer row of buildings, these being mostly commercial property and mostly relatively smart for the ring, because they're the ones where it's been worth having a frontage that faces the domes. But before very long, you've made your way through the twisting little spider-like alleys, and after a couple of minor wrong turns, because you're not that familiar with the layout, you find yourself standing underneath the sign of the ring, a sort of bluish cut-out metal circle hanging from the side of the club.
Well, shall we?
Kara sort of looks it up and down. She's like, "Oh, this looks like my kind of place. A dive bar looking place. After you, my friend."
And Stefan will lead them in.
Okay. You push open the door. It opens exactly as before. There's a cheap looking but reasonably effective basic airlock. It's not really an airlock, it's just more of a filter, really. And once inside, you find the place much as you last saw it. It's barely past lunchtime, so it's pretty empty. But you do spot Halla Wren working behind the bar.
Ah, wonderful. Stefan will saunter up to the bar and sort of wave everyone with him and say she's not serving someone. That's it.
How are we spelling her name? We've not taken her name yet. That's the first time we've known her name, Ben. Oh, it's her, wasn't it? How are we spelling it?
The mother
Yeah.
is Halla Wren. Yeah.
How are we spelling that?
HALARENN.
HALARENN.
Mhm.
She's the mother of the child that we gave money to, wasn't it?
That's right. You found a 12-year-old girl and gave her money because you were strangers, and then used her advice as to where to find the best drinking place.
Oh, perfect. It's the dream of all 12-year-old children. Money for just saying where their mum works. It's perfect.
Stefan will wander up to the bar and say, "Hey, how's it going? I don't suppose you remember me. I came in before with the wolf-looking person and the girl who wouldn't stop singing."
Yeah, I've got a good memory for assholes.
Whoa.
That's us.
Cara looks at Stefan. She remembers you.
We're looking for someone, actually. We're in a bit of a hurry, otherwise I'd stop and buy my friends a drink. A Corinne Stout.
Stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Looking for him. Okay.
I mean, is that weird? Should we not?
I mean, it's just most people are actively looking to avoid him, but sure.
Well, I suppose I've got two questions then. One, why do people want to avoid him? And two, do you know where we could find him?
Yeah. Can we just accept that I did not recommend you went there? I can tell you where you can find him, but I did not in any way suggest that you should in fact go there to find him.
All guilt and liability is wiped clean.
Okay. Look around this place. And, I mean, you're not from around here, so I'm guessing you've seen bars, clubs, hotels, restaurants, right?
Yeah, a few.
And the Circle Club, it's going to be in what, the bottom 20%, clearly, of every one of those you've ever seen.
Cara sniggers. I'm an artist, mate.
Maybe not us, but
yeah, Zoe.
the certainly the Wolfman, yeah.
So what I need you to imagine is there are people who we would kick out of here because they'd lower the tone. And they go and hang out with Corin Stelt. He sort of runs a bar. He doesn't call it a bar, he calls it a cafe. But it's not like it's official. It's just his front room. And he hangs out with lowlifes, and as I say, if you really need to find him, that's where you'll find him. But I wouldn't go there on purpose.
Are you talking? What are we talking here? Are we talking abrasive or just dangerous? Well, both.
I mean, I don't think he's dangerous, but the cafe is.
Okay, that we can deal with, right?
Yeah, I think so. You like to keep your back to the wall.
It's, if you want to, I'll give you some directions. And she blats over some instructions to you very quickly. It's not actually that far away, but it's further out towards the sort of dusty end of the ring, quite close to where it all sort of fades into desert and rock. And it's not too far around in circumference terms, but it's a fair way out from where this place is. And having given you basic directions, she says, "Oh, and you can't miss it. It's called the Venom Club. Venom Cafe, sorry. The Venom Cafe."
Venom Cafe. not a place to wear a mask. Then. That's for the 80s kids.
I suppose that's quite ironic, Stefan. I say. I guess the other question is if we can avoid going there. I don't suppose you know anybody who sells medical supplies.
Yeah. But I mean, there are only two kinds of medical supplies you get in a Zurport. You know, good ones for people you care about, and you get them in the domes. There are medical centers, clinics, hospitals. I mean, anyone can hook you up with those, but you've got to be prepared to pay. Or there are the various half-trained, poorly equipped, not very sterile people you can find loitering around the edges for those who can't afford it.
Sure.
Cara leans forward and says, "Look, we're in a bar, and you've been very kind." And she waves Agnar's card and says, "I feel like I should at least buy us a round of drinks to put some money in your till, I guess, for the help you've given us. So can we just get 3 of whatever's popular locally as we chat?"
Sure. She pulls out a few modestly priced drinks.
Cool. And Cara blips the card. And she says, this Corin Stout that my friend's been talking about, he's clearly not trustworthy. But when it comes down to it and you need something specific, is he trustworthy?
Well, are you asking, is he reliable?
Yeah. Long story short, we need anti-venom. Is he going to give? Is he going to provide something that will work?
Yeah. I think he'll. Not only will he have some, he'll have handmade it.
So he's got the skills.
Yeah, I mean, what he does is unsettling and gruesome and disgusting, but the way I rate people like this, I think he's reliable because he's always and consistently the same asshole. If you give him the motivation to be helpful, he'll help you, but it's going to cost you money. He doesn't have any kindness in him or any sense of moral obligation.
Howard Cara downs her drink quickly and motions to top up hers to give another to sort of give a bit more money behind the bar. And she says, if you're having one, please, and if not, just put it in the wood. How would you deal with him if you needed something, not just to put him in the ground?
Flattery.
Okay.
Tell him he's famous. Tell him he's the only guy who can help. It'll push up the price, but it'll also make him be quick. Otherwise, he'll try and give you the runaround and see if there's a way he can leech you for other stuff, I'm sure.
Okay. So it's like getting straight to the point.
That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
And if you need anti-venom, I'm guessing there's a clock on it.
Yeah, there is. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's obviously,
That's all
obviously you can't take your liquor as much as we thought you would. Strong stuff.
Certainly is.
We're gonna have to get Ben some anti-venom now. Somebody snuck in.
Yes, okay. Before we go, there is something else I wanted to ask about, actually, now that we're all chatting away. You clocked we're not local. Everyone knows we're not local. Like the way we look, the way we walk, the way everything. But we do have a ship, and we do like to trade. Do you know anyone? We were pushed your way, actually. Well, not yours, but the Circle Club. Do you know anyone, or is there anyone that frequents this place who might be worth talking to with regards to trade of a less glamorous approach?
Well, yeah, actually, quite a lot potentially. Depending on how unglamorous you want to be, Corin Stelt himself might be able to hook you up with some really gross and disgusting things, but they might be money spinners. Who knows?
Okay.
But there are a few guys who come in here pretty regularly from this unofficial traders community hub thing. It's just off the downport. A lot of the even quite big sort of merchant ships and far traders, when they get in here, the guys have contracts to deliver things to big companies in the domes, or to transship things on to other places, other worlds. But quite often you see those guys, skulking around and diving in there to do a little bit of business on the side.
Okay.
Kind of a free market for tradable commodities.
A free market, you say? That sounds
Yeah.
fascinating. Could you whereabouts is it?
It's about almost opposite us, the other side of Azureport, but it's only one little alley back from the downport itself. You can spot it from the downport side really easily because they've hung a big sign over it, which is visible from the downport to try and remind traders, I think, that they exist.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. That's you've provided us with a lot of important stuff. Really appreciated. Cara looks at her watch and looks at Stefan and says, "Clock's ticking, I guess, man."
He'll just nod. Yeah. Should we? What are we doing? Straight to stealth.
That's got to be the priority, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to head into the dome and what was it you said? Pay more for it, and it'll turn to the person behind the bar. Pay more for the people you want to live.
Yeah, if you really got people you want to live, you can always pay for proper medicine.
We've got time to compare, I guess.
Do you want to? Can you do a quick search of how much we're talking? Because if we can't afford it, then it's pointless, isn't it? But
yeah, can Cara ping a phone call through or something? Is there something she can search for a medical centre in town?
Yes, no problem at all.
So she starts the phone call. I don't know what the dialing tone is on Dilub Rou. I'll make one up.
Bound to be that. That's now canon. Yep. Okay. Yes. Hello.
Hi. I was wondering if you could help me. We're looking for some. I'm sorry for the lack of pleasantries. We're looking for some anti-venom at all for our friend. We went out hiking and our friend got bitten by a sand crate. I was wondering if you carried that at all.
I'm sorry for your friend. We have treatments for sand crate bite, but we don't use antivenom. It's never been approved for practice because there are, well, extraordinary difficulties keeping it fresh.
Okay. Does your treatment cure the person, or does it just make them comfortable before they perish?
There are no 100% outcomes in medicine, but in the vast majority of cases, people do recover within the first 2 to 3 years.
Oh, wow. Man, I bet they have a magical couple of years while they're on that as well. I guess do they have to stay with you that whole time?
No, they can visit the clinic once a week, typically for treatments after the first couple of weeks of intensive treatment.
And how much is that would that cost for that whole treatment?
I'm not really aware of your insurance situation or what clubs and societies you're a member of that we might have exchanges with. It would depend on all sorts of things. But if you were paying the full price up front, we would typically expect somewhere of the order of half America credit for the initial treatment, then about 100,000 credits per week.
Oh man. I really respect companies that take the piss on people's darkest moment of need and make huge profit on their requirements. I really respect that, and more power to you. And now, jog on. Thanks, bye. Cara looked at Stefan. It's like, yeah, it's a no go, man. There's one option.
Well then, let's get going, I guess.
For the witch doctor.
Which one?
Okay.
Exactly.
Witch doctor.
The witch doctor.
So you're heading straight to the Venom Cafe?
There's no reason not to, I guess.
Okay. All right. You set off around following the directions. They're pretty good directions, and it does have the benefit that as long as you basically head right out to the edge of town and keep walking in the right direction, you will eventually blunder into it. Despite the warnings you've been given, the cafe itself doesn't look particularly horrible from the outside. It's a reasonably nicely turned out, if fairly small, habitation unit. And there's a sign which is not unpleasant, not particularly creative, but it's perfectly fine, showing a couple of fangs forming the M of Venom on the end.
Classy.
And it says, Venom Cafe. And you can set off inside if you wish.
Kara looks at Zoe first and says, when we go in, choke down every single desire you have inside of you and don't strangle the first 4 people we see.
But the first 3 are okay.
As long as it's not the guy we need. Sure, let's send a message.
Okay. So you go in as a group, and inside you are in a space that is unlike anywhere you've ever seen before. It is indeed someone's effectively front room, but more accurately, the entire ground floor of the property. There's a flight of stairs going up to what is clearly a habitation upstairs. The closest I can give to a sort of instant way of describing it is like how Western taverns always appear in old movies, like a big open floor plan room with a bit of a balcony around and some stairs running up.
Lovely.
It is, however, on a much smaller scale. The specification is much more limited. And in one corner, there is not so much a sort of bar as a bit of a table, and leaning on it is a fairly sharply dressed, spivvy sort of guy who looks up with avarice in his eyes when he sees new customers come in. But all of that is absolutely not the really important things that you begin to notice. As your eyes adjust to the slightly dim light, you realize that you are completely surrounded with sand crates. There are hundreds of them in glass-fronted tanks all the way around the walls. And these stack one on top of another right up the levels in all directions. And he steps forward, gives you a big beaming smile, extends his arms and says, "Welcome to the Venom Cafe." And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Oh, what a place to start next week.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful, Ben. I was kind of hoping
Well,
you
I know it's not
perfect.
not a cliffhanger, but
Perfect though. Oh, that is perfect. Oh, we've got Rose's cat to wind down with.
Rose's cat. Actually, this is going to be. This is one of these things where it's weirdly appropriate. I was thinking the other day, we've just hit 50 travel episodes. The behind the screens I'm working on at the moment will be number 10. And when I was checking, I had a Rose's cat ready to go this afternoon. I realised that it's chapter 25 of Rose's cat.
We've hit 25 Rose's cats.
We have. This is
We haven't actually hit 25 Rose's cats for anybody just tuning in. We treat animals with respect on this channel.
Oh man, that shows when we became affiliates, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Points. Points.
Right. So, meanwhile, on the Baltic Star, Kron Sarama was approaching the problem of cat hammocks methodically. In principle, he reasoned, there was no inherent problem why a hammock wouldn't work for approaching the problem of cat. After all, Cats broadly obey the same laws of physics as humans. In practice, however, there seem to be some complications. Two complications in particular. When a hammock is used by a person, it's usually done so intentionally, in the full knowledge of the nature of hammocks. A person therefore understands that placing their weight in the middle is clearly the way to go. Additionally, a person, by virtue of being more massive than a kitten, makes the hammock shape itself so that its effective center of gravity is way below the axis of the attachment points. This makes the arrangement stable. A kitten has much less mass, and so the stability is less stable. And cats pick the exact spot they choose to stand or sit on using a set of arcane rules that mere humans cannot understand. He had at least decided to include a bracer at each end and limit the number of attachment points to the traditional 2. He'd abandoned the use of elastic cord after seeing just how far it could fling a kitten. His new designs were intended to be slung across the corners of rooms, so there was no need for variable length lines. He carefully made several designs, and he and Caboodle spent a happy hour trying each one out over the bed in Rose's stateroom. The experiments were, it has to be said, not a complete success. Well, in one way they were. The kitten seemed to be having the time of her life. Each time she was introduced to one of them, she immediately tested it thoroughly, and whether or not it met Sarama's expectations, or even met the strict definition of a hammock, she purred throughout. Some designs were, in truth, balancing tests for the kitten. She could easily stay on them until she decided to jump down, but there was no way they offered the stability necessary to relax. Not all of the designs were this unsuccessful, though. Some were much worse. One was so unstable that it instantly dumped the kitten onto the bed. Another seemed to want to lie at an angle, so Caboodle would lie across it, her front paws and head peering happily at Sarama over one side as he fruitlessly tried to make adjustments, her hindquarters barely on the hammock at all, dangling over the other edge. Clearly the engineer was pleased that the cat was having a good time, but on a professional level he was very frustrated. It was at this moment that Rachel Axis walked in. She watched Sarama for a few seconds, then pulled from behind her back a simple piece of plastic plate. She'd bent it roughly 90 degrees in the middle and attached a magnet to one side. Without saying a word, she leant over the bed and stuck it on the stateroom wall, where it stuck, like a shelf. She picked up the kitten, placed her on the shelf, gave her a scratch behind the ears and left. Sarama wondered if the way Caboodle immediately curled up and closed her eyes was deliberate mockery. There you go.
Very nice.
Number 25.
Number 25. I just said in chat, I love the way that it means that Rachel Access and Kron Sarama get to be part of the episodes. I love those guys, but they're always too gruff to join us. Too busy or too gruff as the engineers.
Yeah. Except when it comes for cats, obviously.
Little softies at heart, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent work, Pen. Number 25 as well, eh?
That's number 25. Yeah. Amazing.
It'll be your magnum opus. You can put it into a book at the end.
Well, you know, it's always a treat for me. It weirdly feels like I'm sort of reading a bedtime story to everyone.
I know what you mean. It's like the dessert.
Sort of nice way to wind up the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. A nightcap.
Yeah, definitely. We need to clip them all, Luke, and use those as shorts for YouTube.
Oh yes. Well, that's the YouTube plan is to move it more to clippage. I think because I'm so behind in the episodes, and it takes ages to upload them. I like the idea of just using YouTube for clips that send people over here. Also, I think I'm up for people once they've had a 24-month subscription. We'll put Rose's Cat first edition. We'll bind it into something and physically send it off. Ben, something like that. What do you think?
I think that's a lovely idea. Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe not 24, but something that's a decent chunk of time. We'll do it, or as our own birthday to the subscribers, or our crew, or something like that.
Nice.
I think that's a cracking idea.
It would be a nice thing to do. So, thank you, Kelly. Happy 50. We appreciate it. It's been an enjoyable 50 episodes, to be honest. And you guys, I've been looking at our numbers recently, and we really do appreciate we always said we'd do it whether people were watching or not because we just want to play. And actually, playing live stops us from being big drunken lushes that just wander off for hours at a time like we used to be.
It's made us much more responsible, actually.
Yeah. Or more accurately, I think we'd wander off for 10 minutes at a time and then spend an hour talking about something else, and then wander off for 30 minutes at a time and then spend another half hour talking about something else out of game.
Oh man, we just it helps us make our decisions quicker as well. We used to like sit there and we'd make a big long discussion, and Ben would have to go for a breath of air or toilet because now we're going to discuss our next step, which this has definitely focused our brains, I think, so it's been good for that. But we'd start with like 4 people watching, 3, 4, like Ali and Leno were our first regs, and then people come in and with double figures in, 9 at the minute, but we had like 17 at one point today, which we really appreciate, and like Spares and Sarks and Kelly coming along, and other people rock up when they can, and it's been an absolute joy. And you guys are our family, right? And like first timers, we love lurkers and we love the people that pop in. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And doing 3 hours is much better than when we used to do 8 till 3 in the morning and be absolutely horrific the next day.
Yeah. We did used to do effectively 7-hour gaming sessions and occasionally 8.
Yeah.
But to be fair, during those, realistically, we only actually got 2 or 3 hours of actual gaming done anyway.
It was 7 hours of drinking.
Just drunkenly leering at each other.
It was 7 hours of drinking, including about 2 hours of playing. So yeah, so it was it's better in that regard, and that's because of having to stream. No one would watch what we used to do, quite frankly.
Although, maybe for a milestone, we'll have a throwback.
Old school 8-hour sesh. Kelly, though, yeah, exactly. Those it was nice to do those, but we only did those like every month or so, didn't we? Generally, until and then when we came out of lockdown, we started doing every week. But they were long; they felt quite long. So yeah, it's nice to do little bursts, and that's what Twitch is good for. I think it focuses the mind.
It's certainly made us much more focused on what we do, and I think it's made us structure things better. It's made us take the way we present things and describe things more seriously. Yeah.
Cool. So imagine what we used to be like, guys, if this is us being professional instructors.
Yeah, this is what we look like when we're really focused.
The most serious channel on Twitch.
Absolutely.
Oh dear.
I suppose that's a good call. Yeah, I'll play board games for a day. I used to go to conferences, like 2-3 day conferences with board games. It's great. You get a bit tired by the end of the day too, but because you're just playing something for 2-3 hours, go get a drink, something to eat, next game. It's nice. We should do that Kent Fest. Not that Spez can come because you're lousy New England. And Kelly's Canada, I think, right? That's what I said. Trying to work it out earlier, Ben knew. So, but we'll have a guest. Just could tell from your accent.
The smartest man in any room.
The smartest man in any room he knows. But we'll have Kent Fest. You guys can be with us in spirit. All right, that's tonight. What we got for the rest of the month or something? I don't know.
Should we start with tomorrow?
That's a very good place to start, isn't it?
It is a very good place to start. What do we got tomorrow, Luke or Ben?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yes, tell us what we're doing tomorrow, Luke, because it's more for you to tell us that one.
Well, thank you very much. I led you there, and you got me there. Thank you very much. We're playing this. We're playing Those Dark Places. It's a bit back to front. I do apologise. By the mighty Jonathan Hicks, who is well worth a follow on Twitter if you don't, and Instagram if you've got it as well. It is a industrial sci-fi. So you're thinking Alien, you're thinking that sort of thing. Everything is very close to death. The ships are very breakable. People are very breakable. You don't have much life. You have like 4 hit points, basically. And that's kind of like, that's you. That's you done. And Evan is always watching you. Where's Evan? Where's Evan gone? Evan, there he is. Evan's always watching us. There he is. And I really like it just because it's quite harsh. and the characters are a bit more abrasive. We play it a bit more comedy, I think, than it's written, but there's still a certain abrasiveness and weariness to it. And we're moving on to a adventure which is written in this book. Actually, I've taken it from this book. We did a couple of other self-written, and we're moving into an actual adventure written in this book. We're halfway through the book adventure, The Argent 3. That is tomorrow. It's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. If they die, I will let them create new characters to go forwards. That's all I'm going to say about it. We're joined by Gilly, who's absolutely lovely.
Yes.
People that are here for Gilly, we love Gilly on the channel. She's like an honourable member of the channel, to be honest, when she rocks up. So
yes, we're very fond of Gilly.
So that's Paranormal Space. It is. It's all very edgy. So yes. So that is tomorrow. Those Dark Places, the latest chapter of.
And then on Sunday, sorry, my days are getting confused in my head now. It is Sunday, isn't it? Yes, on Sunday. It's Spooky Sunday time, isn't it?
It is Spooky Sunday. Emotional Sunday, Ben.
It's been a bit of a rough ride the last couple.
Oh man. So I've been playing Hellblade, and I've been playing, but I always think these sort of games are very much a group experience. It's just I'm the person controlling the controller. Especially the Sunday ones, I'd say. There's a lot of emotion to the Spooky Sunday games.
Yeah.
Whether it's because we pick a survivor, so it's until Dawn, Man and Madame, when we had Alien, this, and we love her, don't we?
She is Senua, the lead character in the game, is amazing. I mean, she's so you want to be so loyal to her, and she's so beautifully presented. I mean, it's a stunning looking game. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth a look.
And we're getting to the end. We've gone through strong times and down times, and we've got the mighty sword, which I worked out I wasn't using to its full potential, which might have made the battles a bit easier. I just needed to hold down a button for longer, which I wasn't doing. But we're making the push towards hell to plead for the life of our dead beloved, which is Sunday.
As you do.
As you do. I do it on a weekly basis. But yeah, we're doing it this time. I don't know if it'll be the last one, but we're close. We're a couple of episodes away, I think. It feels, right, Ben? It feels like we're reaching that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly building an intensity that sort of way. I mean, I don't know if there's another bit after that, so to speak, but it's certainly feeling like we're building to a biggie, because last time was a lot of action.
Oh, was it ever? My goodness, that was stressful. I was shaking. So much action. So that's our Sunday, and then you can have 3 days off, everyone. All the viewers and that. Chill out, do what you want to do. And then we're back for next week, where the special highlight, I guess, is our first Orbital Blues.
Yeah.
Where Fiddy is joining us in what should be a semi-regular game, hopefully, from then on, if people like it.
Yeah, it should be fun.
It sounds very cool.
Which is Firefly meets Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe. So.
Yeah. I think that's going to be quite interesting to see. So we'll see how that works.
Until then, I was looking around. I might, are they still playing? DMDM Studios. There was the guy that turned up for us last week and hung around for like most of the stream. And I can't remember the guy's name. Is it Backslash for Raid? Yeah. I know it's late, right? So, and I'm only going to be there for a little while, but it's nice to go say hello, innit, to someone. So let's go raid. Are we happy to start DMDM Studios?
Yeah, sounds good.
Just for a few minutes at least, yeah? Let's go say hello, tell them we love them. They do good stuff. I watched them the other night. It's quite quirky. I quite like it. So let's... Yes, please do. I might send you guys digital copies of Orbital Blues just so you get a heads up. Not urgent, I won't for this week because it's character generation. You should know nothing. You should go into it blind, right? I don't want to give you any spoilers.
Yeah.
Once we've done that, then I might send you some information. But let's do it.
This is how you should have done it.
Yeah, but we don't want to ruin it by actually giving you input to how to actually be good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
We don't want to start trying to have competence.
Exactly, that's a terrible place to start.
That would set a terrible bar. Rod for our own backs, that would be.
Yeah.
Fitz, I Spectrum, they posted something on Twitter about wanting to support people that could play the game online, so I messaged them to see if anything will come back from it. There may or may not, but we'll see how it goes this week. We're going to play it anyway, but they said they might be able to provide graphics and things like that, which I'll build in if they do. But if not, it's okay, because we were going to play it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Kelly, Socks, Ali, Spez, anyone else that's watching, Leno, if he's still awake. Anyone
And
else
Vodders.
lurking? Oh, the Vodders. We love the Vodders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the Vodders are going to take us over 5,000 views this weekend.
That's going to be wonderful.
Well, very exciting. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that many people watching things.
5,000 views.
5,000 views, man. Shocking. Right. Thanks, Vids. Our big 5-0. Life begins at 50.
That's what they tell us.
I'm gonna leave you and Evan there. He can be there for when I load it up tomorrow and get a bit of a heart attack. It always happens. Always happens on a Monday, on Sunday after we finish. I'm like, oh, Evan.
Apt at least.
Right, I'm gonna see if I can get the right. I always use the wrong code. Is that the right? Yes, cool. Join us, even just for a minute. Say hello to them, yeah? Let's say hello to them, if nothing else. Show them that they're loved and they're doing good work. Cheers, Ben. Cheers, Ian. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
We
Good
love
night.
you guys. Thank you. Good night.